My name is Julia. For 8 years, I fought a cold war with my mother-in-law, Eleanor. It was not the kind of war people see coming. There were no loud arguments, no scenes of public humiliation, no slammed doors echoing through the hallways. Ours was a silent, insidious conflict waged through polite smiles, backhanded compliments, and the sharp edge of social nicety turned into a weapon. Eleanor was the sort of woman who commanded a room without needing to raise her voice. Her presence alone seemed to demand obedience. The matriarch of a well-known family, she was all pearls, posture, and poisoned sweetness. To outsiders, she was elegance personified, graceful, composed, and benevolent. To me, she was the frost beneath a field of roses. From the very beginning, I knew she didn't approve of me. Her disapproval was never voiced directly. It was communicated through pauses that lingered a second too long, glances that dismissed, and compliments so carefully constructed they stung more than insults. When Owen first introduced me to her, she smiled, extended a manicured hand, and said, "Oh, you're Julia. You're not quite what I expected." I laughed it off then, young and eager to please, believing that time and kindness would melt her frost. I was wrong. Over the years, her contempt evolved from mild disdain into subtle sabotage. She'd call Owen every morning to remind him of things I'd already taken care of. She'd rewash the dishes when she visited, saying, "I'm sure you did your best, dear." When we hosted dinners, she'd bring her own dessert and place it at the center of the table, a silent declaration that her touch was still indispensable. Owen never saw it. To him, his mother was a pillar of warmth and care. He would chuckle at her remarks and tell me not to take them so seriously. "She's just set in her ways," he'd say. "You know how mothers are." But Eleanor wasn't just set in her ways, she was strategic. She wanted control, and she knew how to disguise manipulation as maternal devotion. Still, I tried. I really did. I attended her charity luncheons, listened to stories about Owen's childhood, smiled through every subtle insult. But no matter what I did, I was always the outsider. She once told me, during an afternoon tea at her estate, "You're very independent, Julia. Almost too much so. A husband needs to feel needed." I remember stirring my tea in silence, realizing she wasn't giving advice, she was issuing a warning. The real unraveling began a year ago, when Owen started changing. He became distant, almost detached. His eyes, once so open, so full of easy laughter, grew shadowed. He was constantly on his phone, then locking it. Late nights at work became routine. When I'd ask, "Is everything okay?" he'd sigh, irritated, and say, "I'm tired, Julia. Can we not do this tonight?" At first, I believed him. I told myself marriage had seasons, that we were simply going through one of the colder ones. I organized small date nights, left handwritten notes in his bag, even reached out to Eleanor for advice, though in hindsight, that was my greatest mistake. She responded with a cool smile. "Men get restless, dear. You can't expect them to be satisfied forever. Try not to be so emotional." Then came the message. It was a Tuesday evening when I saw it, an accidental text that appeared on Owen's iPad, which was synced with his phone. The message read, "Dinner next week? She'll be at that conference. M says hello." It felt like the air had been knocked out of me. I stared at the screen for minutes, the room spinning. M. I scrolled back, heart pounding, searching for more clues. There weren't many messages, he must have deleted them, but that one was enough. A part of me still wanted to be wrong. I told myself M could be anyone, maybe a client, maybe a friend. But the mention of my conference, the detail that I'd be gone, was too deliberate. The betrayal felt physical, like swallowing glass. When I confronted Owen, he didn't deny it for long. His silence said everything. "It just happened," he said, avoiding my eyes. "Maya and we connected. You've been so distant lately. It's not serious." Not serious. The word carved into me. I remember standing there, clutching the edge of the counter, trying to steady my shaking hands. My voice barely came out. "And your mother?" He blinked, confused. "What about her? Does she know?" He hesitated. That was all the answer I needed. The days that followed blurred together. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My body moved through routines, but my mind was elsewhere, spiraling between anger and disbelief. I told Owen to leave the house for a while. I needed space to think, to breathe, to exist without the constant weight of betrayal pressing down on me. 2 weeks later, I went to Eleanor's house to collect some of Owen's things. She greeted me at the door with that same immaculate smile, her voice honeyed and false. "Julia, how brave of you to come. I do hope you're handling everything maturely." Her words felt like venom disguised as civility. I followed her into the sitting room, where everything gleamed with oppressive perfection: the polished wood, the scent of lilies, the family portraits aligned with military precision. She handed me 2 boxes. "Owen will need these," she said, as if she were granting me a favor. She left the room to answer a call, and that's when I saw it, her phone, lying on the hall table, screen lighting up with a message from Maya. "Thank you again for the kind words yesterday, Eleanor. Your support means so much. It's truly helped me through this difficult time." The world seemed to tilt. My pulse thundered in my ears. Why would Maya, the woman destroying my marriage, be texting Eleanor? My chest tightened as I picked up the phone. My hands trembled, but my resolve hardened. I knew Eleanor's passcode. She'd never changed it. What I found next turned my stomach. Message after message between Eleanor, Owen, and Maya revealed the horrifying truth. Eleanor hadn't just known. She had orchestrated it. 3 months ago, "You shouldn't have to pretend, darling," she'd written to Owen. "That Maya sounds lovely. You deserve someone who understands you, not someone so cold." 1 month ago, "Your life with Julia is stagnant. She'll never make you truly happy. Maya is the kind of woman who fits our family." And to Maya, only a day before, "Don't let Julia guilt you. She always plays the victim. Owen needs someone strong, someone like you." It wasn't just betrayal, it was conspiracy. My marriage hadn't fallen apart by accident. It had been poisoned from within, drop by drop, word by word, by the woman who wanted to erase me from her son's life. When Eleanor returned, her expression shifted instantly as she saw the phone in my hand. "What are you doing?" she snapped. "I found everything," I said. My voice was calm, too calm. Every word, every lie, every manipulation. She lunged forward. "Give that to me!" "No," I stepped back. "You don't get to hide behind your pearls and your perfect little mask anymore. You wanted to destroy me, and you did. But you also destroyed your son's integrity in the process. You made him weak. You turned him into someone who cheats and lies because you told him it was acceptable." Eleanor's composure cracked. Her voice shook with fury. "You don't understand. I was protecting him. You were never right for Owen. You've always made him feel small." I laughed, a hollow, broken sound. "No, Eleanor. I made him accountable. You couldn't stand that. You wanted control, not love, and you got it at the cost of your son's soul." I left that house with her phone in my hand and the evidence of every poisonous message. I didn't look back. That night I showed Owen the messages. He read them silently, his face pale. "She meant well," he whispered eventually. "She just wants me to be happy." That sentence, the final nail in the coffin. "She wants you to be hers," I said quietly. "And you let her. You've always let her." The next morning, I filed for divorce. I cited infidelity, emotional cruelty, and interference from a third party. My lawyer said the texts would be enough. I didn't care about revenge. I just wanted freedom. Eleanor tried to contact me after that. Emails, letters, even a call, once, from an unknown number. I never answered. I didn't need closure from her. I'd already seen the truth. Her love was a weapon, her protection a form of possession. Months passed. I moved out of the house Owen and I had shared and into a small apartment overlooking the river. For the first time in years, I could breathe without walking on eggshells. I began to reclaim the pieces of myself that had been chipped away: my laughter, my confidence, my peace. Sometimes on quiet evenings, I'd catch myself wondering if Eleanor ever regretted it, if she ever realized that in trying to keep her son, she lost him completely. Because Owen, from what I heard, never really recovered. Maya eventually left him. His mother's influence, once his anchor, became his chain. As for me, I rebuilt. I learned that survival isn't about endurance alone, it's about extraction. You cannot heal in a house built on rot. You must burn it down, sift through the ashes, and start again. Eleanor's poison didn't destroy me, it revealed me. And in the end, that was her greatest failure.